and pig's tail.
Okay.
Yes, so for anybody listening, please don't find it too weird. But yes, we Jamaican people do eat pig's tail. It's usually like I'm looking at your face right now and you're like, what?
I'm just curious, guys. I'm just curious.
Yes, we do eat pig's tail. And if anybody tells you that pork is an abomination, tell them Kelsey said, find me. We'll have a talk. Pig's tail is the best thing ever. I miss it.
Okay, I guess we'll have a talk after this podcast. Okay, the second one. What's the number one song in Jamaica for you?
So I'm going to go very stereotypical here. If there are any Jamaicans out there who listen, please don't hurt me. There is a song that is quite old, I guess you could say at this point. It's like 5-6 years old.
Okay.
But the name of the song is Welcome to Jamrock. It's a reggae song by Damian Marley, Junior Gong Marley, however you like to refer to him. It's one of Bob Marley's sons, if you can guess. And it's basically saying, welcome to Jamaica. These are the good parts. Yes, we have bad parts, but this is our country and it's a beautiful place to be. The reason I'm recommending it is because the title of the song, Welcome to Jamrock, became like quite a popular phrase in our country after a while because that song kind of made it big. Like I think he won a Grammy for it. So like there was a cruise named after it at one point, and Jamaican people would just randomly have it in their Facebook status, and people will just say things like welcome to Jamrock, and it just means welcome to Jamaica.
Okay. Sounds cool. And the last thing is the number one place to visit in Jamaica.
And this was a number one place to visit in Jamaica is kind of hard for me. Just because, okay, so as a tourist, I would suggest Dunn's River Falls. So it's a waterfall that you can climb.
Okay.
It's easy to get your feelings hurt because the guides who take you up the waterfall will hop, skip, and jump up the waterfall in 10 seconds. And you will take like half an hour to climb the falls. It's not super steep. And there are some parts that are extremely safe to climb, even though there are dangerous parts and they'll tell you not to go there. But it's a fun climb. You'll be exhausted by the time you finish. If you have a friend in Jamaica, I would say any river that has no name. Like me and my friends love going to just freshwater rivers to hang out, picnic. But as a tourist, Dunn's River Falls is probably the closest you can get to that.
Okay. Thank you, Kelsey, for sharing a part of Jamaica with us today.
You're welcome. Next week, I'm coming for Anna next week.
Oh,
Prepare yourselves.
I have to prepare myself first. Okay, so let's move to our next section, which is the question of the day of the week. This week, we had very philosophical question.
Yes, it was a dig deep question, even though I got 2 answers from my friends. One of them for sure. They didn't try to dig deep at all, but it's okay. Matthew, I see you.
Okay. So if you are interested or you want to suggest any question to us, please leave us a comment wherever you can comment on our podcast, or send us an email at liberageglobal@gmail.com. So let's jump to the answers. Okay, so once again, the question was, what's a question you would like to answer but no one asks? Kelsey?
Okay, so I have an answer for this for myself. I haven't delved into the friend answers yet. This isn't so much overall something I want people to ask, but it's more what I want Korean people to ask.
Okay.
I just mentioned in my interview that not a lot of Korean people know where Jamaica is. I would like them to ask me where it is rather than assuming it's in Africa. Because I'm Black, so they just assume Jamaica is a country in Africa. I don't have a problem with that fully because I know Korea is new to outside experiences. But I would prefer the question, where is Jamaica located, rather than, it's in Africa, right?
Yeah,
It's just...
That's true.
What about you, Anna? What is a question you'd like to answer but nobody asks?
So I will get philosophical here, really, because I was thinking about it a lot, actually. And I think I would like people to ask me, what do you feel? Not how do you feel? It's what do you feel? Because I think people ask, how do you feel when you are sick? Or when you don't feel well? Or maybe yesterday you told them, I have a headache. And then the next day they'll ask you, how do you feel? But with this question, what do you feel? I think more about the situations when you are talking about something. And then somebody asks you, what do you feel about it?
And
not
you
what
can
do you
work
think.
through it. Yeah,
and you can work through it, as you said. You can work through it and then get more insight of yourself and what the topic that you're talking about with other people.
That's true. I agree with that. Because sometimes when people go, how do you feel? It's like, what? Like, I don't want to deal with that question right now. So your brain just starts to go off.
Yes.
Now to interrupt the philosophical question, an answer from my friend Matthew. He's one of those genius people that don't like to show off his genius very often. He likes to make you laugh more than get academic with it. So Matthew says, the question that he'd like people to ask him is, what is a superpower you would like to have and why? I see people ask this on TV, but I can't think of a time someone has ever asked me that question. Matthew says this. So I'm going to take it that you are asking, and I would say I would like to have telekinesis. His reason is, I'm an academic, so I think it fits, and I've embraced that I am quite lazy sometimes. So why not have a power where you don't have to lift a finger? Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you so much for that. I promise you.
Thank you, Matthew. Okay. Do we have any other responses?
I do. So my friend Samantha, she also lives here. She's been here a little bit longer than I have because she did both her undergrad and her master's here.
Okay.
I met her when I was doing my master's. She said at this point, it's way easier for me to think of questions I am tired of answering than questions I don't get asked. Being a foreigner does that to you. And I have not lived in my home country for so long, it's like a lifestyle at this point. I feel her on some level with that because there are questions that I've been asked in this country where I don't think anybody would have asked me in Jamaica.
Yes.
So, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it for our first question of the week. For next week, the question will be, what is the first thing you do after you wake up? I have a predicament. I think Matthew is going to say to me, he opens his eyes.
But that's so true, actually.
So send us an email with your answers or leave us a comment wherever you can leave comments, and we'll read your answers on next week's episode.
And now it's time to close out with the recommended song of the week.
Remember, if you would like to send in a recommendation, send us an email at thebridgeglobal@gmail.com or drop us a comment wherever comments can be made.
Okay.
Well, what's your recommended song of the week, Anna?
The first song that came to my mind was The Last Dance from the musical Elizabeth.
Right.
Because, when I'm going to work, I have to transfer in Ölçüler Samga. And almost always, I get out from the door that is in front of this big poster of the musical.
Yeah.
And before I came to Korea, I was already a fan of this musical. I saw a lot of YouTube videos and recordings. So I really wanted to go. And then almost 1 year after I came here, it was released again. So I went to see and I loved it. I loved it even more than before. And now I'm tempted to go again, actually. So The Last Dance is sung by Todd, like the character named Todd. So if you guys want to see it, it's in Korean, in German, in a bunch of other languages on YouTube.
So when you go see it in Korea, like you're watching a Korean play.
Yes, I'm watching Korean play.
How is that though?
It's cool. And I love music. So, guys, if you would listen to this podcast in the future, probably every week I'll recommend something from musical. So you can expect that from me because I'm super huge fan.
I don't know how often I like musicals, but I think I'll leave you to take on the musical recommendations because I've seen musicals, but mainly the TV adaptation of musicals rather than live. I wanted to go watch Lion King, but I wasn't sure if I could handle Lion King in Korean.
But I think it will be in English. I guess so. But I think Broadway is actually coming. It's like the world tour.
Oh, okay.
And I think somewhere, because I bought tickets, I'm going to see it in January. I think they said they provide subtitles.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. Maybe it was just my dream, you know? I don't know.
I'll have to check that out because I think that would be interesting. Okay.
How about you, Kelsey?
So my recommended song of the week is a song that's been just popping up in my music playlist recently. It's not new, but it's not like so old. It's DYWM by Now. It's from her 2016 album For All We Know. DYWM stands for Do You Want Me? It's a song about falling in love, but being very unsure about your place in that situation because of like past heartbreak or you know, mistrust and all those things. It's upbeat, but it's not like poppy in your face type of thing. So even though I listen to some K-pop, my favorite aspect of Korean music is not quite indie. There is pop aspects, but it's like closer to R&B soul type music. So my favorite Korean singer is actually Zion T. Love his music, love his voice. Check him out. He'll probably show up in my recommends as well at some point. But her sound is sort of similar to Zion T's sound.
Oh, really?
Jazz notes. It's her. The way she sings is on a slower beat, but the music is more upbeat, so it balances out to not like the slow sad song. You guys should check it out. I'll probably be recommending her music quite a bit. She's a singer that I really do love. So that's my recommendation for this week.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our first podcast.
Wow.
It wasn't awkward at all.
At all.
So thanks for joining us this week. You're listening on YouTube or SoundCloud. Leave us a comment, even if it's just to say hi.
And if you would like to be a part of our podcast as a guest or have any suggestions about what you would like to hear, send us an email at thebridgeglobal@gmail.com.
Bye.